A suspected gunman is in custody after an active shooter situation inside a building that left at least one person dead and 4 others injured, according to the Atlanta Police Department. The shooting occurred around noon inside a building on West Peachtree Street between 12th and 13th Streets, the Atlanta Police Department said. Police said they were aware of multiple people injured, and later updated that at least 4 people were rushed to Grady Hospital for treatment while a 5th was pronounced dead at the scene. Atlanta Police Chief Darren Schierbaum told reporters earlier in the day that all 5 victims were shot in a waiting area on the 11th floor of the medical facility where the shooting took place. All 5 victims were women, the chief added, with a 39-year-old woman being killed. The other 4 victims were ages 25, 39, 56, and 71. Police identified the suspect as 24-year-old Dion Patterson, and advised the public to call 911 and to not approach him because he was considered armed and dangerous. Schierbaum said he did not know why Patterson shot the women. According to the chief, the suspect carjacked a vehicle before fleeing the scene of the shooting. Police later recovered the vehicle during the manhunt, the chief noted. There have been no additional shots fired since the initial incident unfolded, the department said in a tweet. Multiple police and emergency vehicles were on the scene as the search for the suspect continued. Anyone in the area is asked to secure their building and shelter in place, police said earlier in the day, urging citizens who were not already in the area to stay away. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens said earlier that he was close contact with police and urged those in the area to shelter in place. Police later lifted the shelter-in-place order, as the manhunt moved across Atlanta away from the scene of the shooting. Law enforcement agencies in several jurisdictions including DeKalb and Fulton counties, and college campus police departments assisted with the search. Patterson is a former member of the U.S. Coast Guard, according to the Office of Public Affairs for the military branch. He first entered the service in July 2018 and worked his way up to an electrician's mate second class before being discharged from active duty in January 2023. The Coast Guard did not provide further details about the condition of Patterson's discharge from service. The Coast Guard is aware of the tragic incident in Atlanta allegedly involving Mr. Dion Patterson, the Public Affairs Office said. Our deepest sympathies are with the victims and their families. The Coast Guard Investigative Service is working closely with the Atlanta Police Department and local authorities in the investigation. Cobb County Police Department Sergeant Wayne Delk told reporters just after 6 p.m. that officers were focusing on an area near Windy Ridge Parkway and Heritage Court, adding that was the last known location of the suspect. Delk said a Department of Transportation camera captured Patterson and the vehicle in that vicinity at 12:30. Though his department was not notified of the sighting until nearly 2 hours later. The vehicle Patterson allegedly carjacked was found in a parking garage on Heritage Court, Delk said. On Wednesday night, the Atlanta Police Department announced that Patterson was in custody. Schierbaum said during a press conference on Wednesday night that it took a network of officers who had trained for an active shooter situation, to work together and apprehend a very dangerous perpetrator. Police said during the press conference that Patterson remained in the building where he allegedly opened fire for about 2 minutes after the shooting, before walking out on foot, heading to a nearby Shell gas station and getting into a pickup truck that was running. The license plate of the truck was entered into the license plate reader network, and at about 12:30, the system sent out an alert that the truck was in Cobb County. Cobb County Police Department Chief Stuart Van Hooser said his department received many tips throughout the day from people claiming to have seen Patterson. But with the use of new technology and staff that remained on the job, Van Hooser said his team based its decisions on a series of clues as well as their gut and logic. The police searched an unoccupied building in the Battery that he was seen walking into, but the building was eventually cleared. Later in the day, a sighting came from that area, Van Hooser explained, and an undercover agent approached Patterson before he was taken into custody. Police said the gun Patterson used was a handgun, though how he obtained the firearm was still under investigation. As for why Patterson was at the medical building earlier in the day, police said he had an appointment. Patterson's prior convictions include a violation of the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, failing to appear in court, and a probation violation which resulted in the revocation of his probation. Northside Hospital posted to social media that officials were cooperating with law enforcement regarding the shooting at its Midtown Atlanta location. Dr. Robert Jensen, the chief medical officer at the hospital, said 4 adult victims were brought to the facility. All 4 victims are currently in critical, but stable condition, according to police. "We've had a successful end to a traumatic day," Dickens said. "Tonight, I hope we can rest easy knowing he's in custody." This is a breaking news story. Check back for updates.